Hello students, we are going to start with the new name or the new topic or the next disease, and the name of disease is Ascariasis. The very first thing which comes in our mind is the Ascariasis disease is spread through which type of nematode? Yes, or the worm. You can call it as Ascarias lumbricoides, which is also being called as roundworm. When the Ascariasis disease is being concerned, you can observe that we have to study these points which have been related to this disease. First of all, we are going to start with the signs and symptoms of this particular disease. When it comes to the signs and symptoms about this disease, you can observe that the roundworm, as it has been written over here, or the parasite is been called as a roundworm. It has been observed in what? It has been observed in the GIT. Now the GIT has been called as the gastrointestinal tract, where this particular type of worm is been observed. When this worm is been present, automatically it is going to create the disorder or the disturbance in the GIT, which cause vomiting, also it cause fever. Here you can see when this type of disorder is been observed or the worm is there, the person fecal matter do carry the worms. Yes, when the mature form of the worm is there, definitely the fecal matter of the infected person is going to consist what? It is going to have the roundworm. Also, you can see when it is being related to GIT, a person is going to suffer from loss of appetite. It means definitely it is not going to have the good appetite because already it is having the disturbance or the cramps it is suffering from. So, these are the signs and symptoms which have been related to the disease. Here, when it comes to the disease signs and symptoms, you can observe that it has been present in the various parts of the body. It can enter intestine, blood, heart, lungs, trachea. So, wherever it is going to present, definitely some of the important part of the organs it is going to block. For example, if the Ascaris is present in the lungs, it is going to trachea, it is going to create the blockage over here. Obstruction is going to carry over here. So as you can see, it is going to carry obstruction in the trachea or the lungs. Yes, pneumonitis. So these are the symptoms. So when it comes to the type of Ascariasis disease, you can see that it is been present in the various organs of the body. And when it comes to the various organs, it is going to create an obstruction of that particular place. So, when we were discussing about the signs and symptoms, it was just because that basically it is going to affect the GIT. But when it comes to here, when we are studying about the life cycle, you can see it is going to present over the lungs, it is going to present over the trachea, which creates the obstruction. So, even these are also what? These are the type of, you can see the obstruction. Here you can see the blood, eosinophils. Yes, even this is the type of symptom. So, these are the various signs and symptoms related to this type of what? Disease. Next, when we are discussing about the mode of transmission, the very first thing which comes in our mind, the mode of transmission, and the thing is what? The thing is contaminated food. Our life cycle of Ascaris lumbricoides starts with the contaminated food. Yes, when it comes to the contaminated food, when the person is going to swallow the eggs. Here, I am repeating it again that when the person is going to eat the contaminated food and that contaminated food is going to contain the eggs. Yes, the eggs. Okay, the eggs of what? The fertilized eggs of this particular type of protozoa this particular type of worm we call as the Ascaris lumbricoides. So, contaminated food contains the eggs, the fertilized eggs, and when it has been swallowed by the man, first of all, it is going to resident over the intestine. So as it is going to be the first stage or the larval stage, it is going to travel to these particular parts of the organs or the parts of the organs of the body. It is going to enter into the blood. Yes, it is going to rupture over here and it is going to enter inside the blood. Yes, after that, heart, lungs, trachea and pharynx. Just now we have discussed that when it is going to discuss or when we have discussed about these type blood, heart, lungs, trachea, pharynx, it is going to enter into the esophagus. just now we have discussed that these are the parts of the organs or the organs where the fertilized eggs are going to travel. When it is going to travel these particular parts, organs of the body, automatically it is going to take some period of time. And that period of time is going to make this egg or the larval stage of this particular worm, yes, Ascarias lumbricoid, or is going to become, or it is going to become an adult. When it becomes an adult, it is again going to stay in the intestine. The intestine is the main place from where it is going to start, and when it is going to become an adult, again it is going to present over here. When it comes to the intestine, the worms which have become mature, because from first part you can see that the eggs were being laid or the larval stage was there, and now these larval stages are made or the stages have been, or when it enters to these different organs of the body, parts of the body, yes, it can observe that it has become a mature worm. Now here you can see that the adult male and female are present over here. You can see that the adult male contain a curve which is being called as cloacal aperture, and the female which does not contain any kind of curve. At the same time, you can see that the last part of these or this point is being called as anus. When the mating is been done between this particular type of male and female, you can observe that the cloacal aperture, when it is being compared, when mating is being done between male and female, you can see that the eggs are being laid by what? By the adult female. Now, lakhs of eggs are being laid by the adult female. At that particular time, these eggs are being divided into fertilized eggs and an unfertilized eggs. Automatically, an unfertilized eggs are not going to infect the person, whereas the fertilized type of eggs are going to be present, or definitely they have been present in the intestine. Now these worms or the eggs, these fertilized eggs will come out with the feces. The person who is suffering from this particular disease, definitely the fecal matter will contain eggs, or definitely it is going to contain eggs, or it is going to contain the feces. Now, when it contains the eggs, these fertilized eggs were definite. If the person, or if it is going to consider as the material for the fertilizer, or the human feces are being kept in a soil as a fertilizer, yes, here you can observe that this is going to contaminate the food, because we all know that the soil is being considered where the vegetables and fruits are being grown. When the vegetables or fruits are being grown, these fertilized eggs are being carried into the soil, and this soil is going to contaminate this food. So here you can see that the whole life cycle is very much easy. You can observe that it is going to start from the contaminated food, and it is going to complete over here again. So the life cycle is as such about the Ascarias lumbricoids. Now the next point is what? Diagnosis and treatment. Diagnosis is what? That when the person is suffering from this particular disease, Ascariasis, you can see that the fecal matter is going to contain the worm. So it has been examined that when the stool is being examined, automatically it has been considered that the person has been diagnosed that is suffering from, he or she is suffering from the particular disease. Now, the treatment is what? The treatment with the tablets or the medicines which have been taken, which has been called as piperazine. Also, mebendazole. These are the type of medicine which have been taken during this particular type of disease. Now, preventive measures and control are very much easy, because which we are already studying, and we all know that whenever the raw material or the vegetables are there, we should avoid. Also, you can see that we should wash our hands whenever it is been needed, or whenever we touch some type of soil or the contaminated food. Every now and then, whenever we are using toilets or the diapers or the toilet washrooms for freshes, so at that particular time we are supposed to what? We are supposed to wash our hand with soap. So these are the basic things which we know about the preventive measures and control. So here we have discussed about the disease which we call as Ascariasis. The disease we call as Ascariasis, and we have discussed about the life cycle. In the next video, we are going to discuss the next disease. Till then, study well at home. Thank you.